Welcome to In a Minute, the online video series that takes you through the Bible book of Matthew, one chapter a day, 5 days a week. I'm Robin Heiskell, and I am glad you're joining me today as we discuss Matthew chapter 11. The chapter opens with a question from John the Baptist. John had been imprisoned because he angered Herod Antipas, the ruler of Galilee. John's disciples bring him reports about Jesus that puzzled him. Jesus was not working in a way that John had expected. But God rarely works in a way that we humans expect him to. Doubt was nagging at John, but Jesus reminds John that indeed he is the Christ. Now, we use the name Jesus Christ all the time, but did you know that Christ is actually a title that means the Anointed One? Jesus is the promised Messiah spoken of in the Old Testament, anointed by God's Spirit to be the ultimate prophet, priest, and king. Israel's religious leaders in Jesus' day knew what the Old Testament said about Jesus. They could see that Jesus fulfilled all the prophecies given about him, and yet they stubbornly refused to believe that he was God's son. Even his miracles failed to soften their hard hearts. In Matthew chapter 11, Jesus calls them out, mentioning 4 ancient cities that had fallen or been destroyed because of their godlessness. Jesus says that if those cities had witnessed the miracles that these obstinate leaders had seen, then they would have repented and would have had a whole different future. The good news in Matthew chapter 11 is that it was the ordinary people who responded in faith to Christ. And Jesus promises anyone who comes to him will receive relief from their burdens and rest for their souls. What's more is that they will enter into a loving relationship with him. That offer still stands today. Whenever we encounter Christ, it calls for a decision. Will we accept by faith who he is, or will we stubbornly reject the truth of his word? The choice is ours. But don't take my word for it. Read it for yourself.